David Mamet. He's got a feel for the way people talk and think and cheat and love. And he's got the Pulitzer Prize to prove it. Now America's most exciting writer makes his directorial debut. Join him in the House of Games.
For the first movie of this month's NOIRvember, here we got a slam bang on the Briazad. What the hell does that mean? Just ask the Pulitzer Prize winning writer-director David Mamet. House of Games, released in 1987, starring David Mamet's wife at the time, Lindsay Crouse, as a very successful psychiatrist. She just released a book about OCD, and you'd think she'd be happy. But no, she has an itch to her that needs to be scratched. And after learning one of her patients fears for his life, contemplating suicide, since he's in serious debt with this criminal figure, Mike Mancuso, played by frequent flyer of Mamet projects, Joe Mantegna, Margaret, Lindsay Crouse, offers to go down to the pool hall called House of Games, hey, to confront Mike, only to be led in on a serious poker game in the back to watch for a tell from George, the Vegas man, played by sleight-of-hand magician Ricky J. Oh, rest in peace, dear sir. As the poker and mind games progress within the film, Margaret grows even more thrilled. But how far will Margaret get infused in this seedy group of cons before something really goes wrong? That's as far as I'm going to get on this one, folks, because I envy anybody who sees this film for the first time. And for a couple of viewings, you may want to watch it a second or third time to really get the movement of the plot in your bones. Twists and turns galore make this film an absolutely, energetically diabolical Neo Noir. From the New York jazz, the darkly lit back poker room, to the fainted close-ups on our protagonist's face as she sends herself down the black cave of crime. In essence, that is film noir. Our main character battling with the facets of identity. And that is exactly what Lindsay Crouse's character is going through, for she has the successful life, yet she craves the thrill of trouble. She's a wannabe thief. She loves doing it, and when she sees Mike, oh, her soul is lit on fire. But how serious is she gonna get? This original noir was originally slated to be directed by the great four-time Oscar nominee Peter Yates, who had directed The Dresser and Bullet. Also with a cast of more big stars, but once all of that fell apart, Hollywood being Hollywood, Mamet took it upon himself to write his original screenplay, which was co-conceived with his college buddy and poker-playing partner, Jonathan Katz. Being an avid poker player himself, Mamet knew how to wield the cons. Having played nightly at his own local house of games located on 72nd Street between Broadway and Amsterdam, the poker scenes obviously have their own authenticity and beat that mirrors the sting to breathtaking effect. The short cons conceived in this film by Ricky J are totally engaging. You get so enwrapped with the con that you forget when the con began, if there ever was one to begin with. Hence, the grand example of a brilliant filmmaker, not just a brilliant writer. It can't be a Mamet script without iconic lines like,
I'm from the United States of Kiss My Ass.
A sucker born every minute, huh?
And two to take 'em.
Told you a squirt gun wouldn't work.
A squirt gun would have worked. You didn't have to fill it.
What, am I gonna threaten someone with an empty gun?
His first feature can't be an iconic piece without his good old stock company either. His friends, indeed, like his wife at the time, Lindsay, who gives a great and quietly channeled performance as Margaret. I honestly wanted a little more from her. She's strong here without having to go so far, which you can tell Mamet rang Lindsay in and told her less is more. But for my money, I still wanted more, especially in her vulnerable moments when she's alone, because otherwise she can fall into the trap of coming off as being wooden. Joe Mantegna is great as Mike. This was obviously on the coattails of his Tony win for the Broadway production of Glengarry Glen Ross, playing Roma, which was played by Al Pacino in the movie. He is able to play both sides of the coin with ease and coolness that you can believe he went either way for Margaret, having feelings for her too, perhaps. I'll just say their last scene together in the film is phenomenal, thrillingly shot, with no apologies, and with sincere, cold bluntness. The hang-up for a lot of people is how wooden and maybe emotionless both Crouse and Mantegna come off. And as an actor myself, that's the theater training. The real star of the show is Mamet's dialogue. So this is a clear case on why Mamet didn't believe in character in movies, just plot and quips. But hey, it still creates a damn great film. And of course we got Ricky, Mike NUSSBAUM, JT Walsh as the businessman in too small of a role, LILIA SKALA as Margaret's doctor friend, who has a great small role, and even a younger, even more unknown William H. Macy, W.H. Macy in this case. Score by Alaric Jans is perfect for this darkly comic noir, which at times reminded me of Double Indemnity. I'm not gonna lie, there is so much to love about this film that sadly was not reciprocated by Hollywood. No real press and marketing was done for the film after its limited release, no matter how many amazing ratings and praise it received, especially from SISKEL and EBERT, the top Chicago critics for film, Mamet's own backyard, rating House of Games in their top 5 best films of the year. For me, it absolutely is one of the better modern neo-noirs, for it still utilizes its present time setting. Mamet's crisp dialogue still keeps it fresh, and as a director with his DP Juan Ruiz and Shia, they glide it with a smoky coolness that makes you feel the heat, only how a real con would play out before your eyes. To me, it is on the list of the greatest directorial debuts for an artist. Therefore, I give David Mamet's House of Games an A-. Sure, David Mamet is not a household name these days, but let's have personal politics out of the picture, please. I have loved Mamet's work ever since I was a young theater student, and seeing his film here when I was a college student, I had even more respect for him as a ring-tail-rounded artist that not many artists get to transition to. The film received only a Golden Globe nomination for Mamet's screenplay, but home media certainly helped the film get exposure, especially its Criterion edition in 2007. Interestingly enough, it was adapted for stage in 2010 by playwright Richard Bean in London, to a mixed response, but I'd like to see that one day. That'd be interesting. But House of Games, my players, have you seen it? What do you think of it? What's your favorite neo-noir? Let me know in the comments. If you like this, please click like, subscribe, and we have plenty more to come, even the Film Noir Movie Review Patreon request, which the link to subscribe will be in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't take the advice of Mike these days with,
Don't trust nobody.
there's gotta be some good people out there, right? Right?